Hello everyone. Okay, I haven't done this in a while. But yeah, I am here doing this experimental IG live to meet folks where y'all are at, and like if you have any questions about this wild and wonderful experience of being on this show, feel free to ask any questions or like share any comments of how it resonated with you. Yeah, I can start just by sharing a little bit about how I ended up being on the show, because that's one of the questions that I get asked the most. So I ended up being on the show because back in the day, back in 2019, I was like a total wook and looking on Craigslist for gigs, as a wook does, and I saw an ad for like be on a blind dating show and get $200. And I'm like, yeah, like sure, that doesn't sound sketchy at all. So I applied, and I ended up being on this other reality TV show called Dating No Filter. It's on E, and it's like, a little like trashy daytime TV show where they set people up on blind dates with each other. And it was my first date with a woman, so I basically came out on national TV as queer. But like I didn't tell anyone about the episode because I just didn't know how it was going to go. And I was kind of playing myself up to be an exaggerated version of my most like free-spirited psychedelic hippie self. And like then I went on the date, and then the comedians like basically just like made fun of me the whole time. You can watch that on YouTube or Hulu, or I don't even know where it is, but long story short, I was on that show back in the day, and then that production company was the one that put on this. Yes, Joy, it was quite a different vibe, but it was the same production company. So I got an email, I think like fall of 2023, that they were auditioning people for this new show, which was a fashion makeover show. And I was like, that sounds amazing. I want a makeover. And I applied. It was just like a written application at the time, and just filled out some questions, sent it in, didn't really think much about it. And then I got a call a week or so later, and like talking through, my story and how my fashion journey has kind of evolved with me, and like where I could see it going. Like all of it just felt really natural, honestly, and very easy and aligned. And so like I got off that phone call, and I was thinking like, oh, like, I think this could actually be a thing. So I feel like there were at least 2 or 3 more rounds of auditions after that. Oh, my mom is here. Hi, Mom. My mom is also on the TV show. Yeah, she did great. Total shining star. So I did like a Zoom audition, and then like with they basically took clips, like they made a reel of the audition. They sent it to like the executives of the show, and then I got through another round, and it was just a very like long, drawn out, months long process. They kept asking for, my measurements, and like putting together like a Pinterest board of my style inspirations. And then like they sent me a phone, and they asked me to film my daily activities, and like just send that to them so they get a better sense of who I am. And then like in March of last year was when they officially were like, congratulations, you're on the show. And by that point I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure I'm on, like, at this point. But I guess they had to make sure that people were, had their wits about them. So in April we filmed, and it was like at the end of April last year, 2 full days in New York. They flew me out there, and then they surprised me by flying out Taj too. But they like actually told me in advance because we were housemates at the time, and they were like, that's going to be hard to keep a secret. So it was 2 full days of filming in New York, and then 1 full day of filming a week later, post makeover in LA. That's when we did like the family and friends reveal. Yes, so that is that. And okay, someone is asking, how are Stacy and Clinton in real life? Yeah, so I actually didn't know Stacy and Clinton before being on the show, which I think was really helpful for me, and not like getting starry-eyed, starstruck, like tongue-twisted. I was just, oh, these are just cool people with a good fashion sense. And they were just so fun and genuine and very perceptive. Like when we had our first meeting and, you know, sat down on the sofa and we're just talking through, you know, my mental, emotional blocks to achieving my style dreams, like they were just pointing things out to me that I was really like, I was kind of blown away by how quickly they saw me and saw through like the things I was saying to be like, oh no, actually, like, what is this about feeling like you don't deserve to, you know, to like look this way? And yeah, it was quite profound. And they just have this amazing way of making me feel super comfortable. And I think that plus the amazing production team, like the camera crew, the runners, the directors, like the whole team was just the highest vibes, like really, really good people. And so I just felt very free the whole time to be myself and felt really embraced in being my full self. So I think when I watched it back, it was healing. It was so healing, especially after years of being in like these nonprofit jobs where I was not able to be my full self. Like it was quite profound that, oh, actually like reality TV ends up being a space where I can most fully embody myself. Yeah, like it just felt fun and natural, and by the end I was like, you know, doing my little dances and we're just talking about consciousness and Burning Man, and it was so cool to see how Stacy and Clinton were like embracing that and you know, talking the lingo. That was really fun, and it was fun to watch it with my friends too. I had a few different watch parties, and to like hear our culture basically being reflected in the mainstream on the show was really fun for us. So yeah, thank you for that question. Another question is, from Phil. Did you ever get to meet or network with your castmates? We watched The Rocker Guy yesterday. Yes, that's Patrick. Patrick is awesome. Joy's asking me if I can do a spin. Okay. I know she has to leave soon, so let me just do a spin really quick. This is my little spin. Yay. Okay. I'm just doing that for you, Joy, because you're my ride or die. I have been just finding my castmates like on Instagram post show, because we never met each other. Like we all had our different slots of filming, and I didn't even know what they looked like until I saw the trailer come out. And then we just started like finding each other and like DMing each other. So I've been talking to Jessica and Patrick, and I'm following a few of the others from the show, and everyone is really cool and sweet. And it's since I'm on reality TV now, you qualify for the Traders. What's the I don't know what that is. So another fun fact is that I don't watch TV. Like I watch TV less than anyone else I know, basically. I haven't even gotten through the whole season of this yet. I've watched like 2.5 episodes with my sisters. Like that's because I was with them and I was in a context where we're like, okay, let's watch something. But on my own, I will never watch anything. So I'm excited to like eventually someday see the rest of the episodes. But yeah, it's been really sweet to connect with the two of them, because it is a very unique experience that we are having, and it feels more connective to share that. Maybe we'll meet each other in real life. Oh, another like really sweet thing is that Jessica, she was the first episode, the Grown Up Girly Girl episode. She has been messaging me and like saying she would love to have a painting of mine someday, like adopting my art in her home, and that would just be really amazing. And Ariel, one thing I really wish we could have seen from you is your connection to music in addition to visual arts. Can you sing a little something for us? And oh, okay. So Ariel's like basically my agent. Yeah, I mean, so I really wanted, because singing is just as key a part of my identity as visual art. And so like I would have, yes, Phil, I did tell them, and I did sing for them. So like before going to New York, I was telling y'all I had to film my daily activities. So I was like, I'm going to film myself singing. So I was, doing the Christina Aguilera version of Reflection from Mulan with like the piano. And then I sent it to like the show and like the producers. And then she basically was like, oh, when I got to New York, she basically was like, oh, we showed your video to like everyone on the whole team of like 30 people that are making this episode. So like I went there, like everyone had seen me sing at that point, so that was cool. And then when I was introducing myself for the cameras, I said, my name is Akemi and I'm a visionary artist and singer and creative facilitator, or creative expression facilitator. And she was like, oh, let's like, can we just say visionary? Can we just hone in on the visionary artist part? And I'm like, I guess so. I get that. Like, it makes sense for the purpose of keeping a more like simple plot line. But yeah, I wish I had somehow managed to sneak in singing. They should have, I know, Joy, I know, they should have given me 2 episodes, or maybe even a spin-off. Yeah, we filmed so much content. There's maybe 20 hours for like that one 50-minute segment. And so, yeah, a lot was not put in there. But, oh yeah, Ariel wanted me to sing something. Okay, let me just sing a little part of Reflection, because did he sing? I haven't gotten through the rest of his episode. Dang. Okay. Well, I'll be better on the next TV show. But yeah. Look at me. You may think you see who I really am, but you'll never know me. Every day it's as if I play a part. Now I see, if I wear a mask, I can fool the world, but I cannot fool my heart. All right, that's it. That's enough for now. But yeah, I'm like really diving into the musical side of me these days, even more than visual art. I just released my first single on Spotify a few weeks ago. What's up? You can hear that on like at the link in my bio, or you can just search Akemi Alchemy on Spotify, and more to come soon. Thanks for the question, Ariel. Healthy Strides is asking, what was your favorite part of the whole experience? Wow. So I think my favorite moment of filming was that story that I shared in one of my posts a few days ago. I don't know if y'all saw that, but so it's really interesting. Like, they were wanting to sort of create this narrative of like, and this is what I wanted to, of becoming my art, like wearing something that felt like basically wearing my art. Like by the end of the episode, I would be wearing my art. And I got to New York and they surprised me after the first day with like a pair of white pants that they screen printed my paintings onto. And then they're like, we have fabric paint. Like, we thought you could paint on these pants, like live. And so I was like, whoa, I've never done that before, but like, I'm already just in this total zone of focus and excitement and just like, let's go. Like, we've already done all this stuff. Like, let's do this too. So they're like, okay, great. You only have 30 minutes. It's during the lunch break. And they, this amazing, beautiful soul was like filming me and sacrificed his lunch break to capture this moment of me like just taking these paints and going wild on these pair of pants. And so like, it just, I feel like it was such a creative challenge because I had never done that before. So I've never created something in such a short amount of time. And then, you know, it was also on like it was on national TV too at the same time. So really fun and freeing, honestly. And then I showed it to Stacy and Clinton and they were like, that's incredible. Like, let's accessorize this. So we put together a whole fit. I took a picture and it's on one of my earlier posts. But yeah, it was incredible. And I looked at myself in the mirror in that moment, like literally wearing my art I had just created. And I'm like, this is it. Like, this is the vibe. And yeah, I would say that was my favorite part of filming for sure. I'm sad that they cut it out of the episode, but I'm really happy that at least like it happened and I have that whole outfit and I can share that with you now. And that actually inspired me to start painting on clothes. So I've done a few commissions for friends at this point, open for more. But I do love like painting on 2D canvases the most. And it's fun to like show them off on my shirts and stuff, which you could also buy on my online art shop. Did you get to bring home all of the clothes in the warehouse or only some? Yeah, that would have been so wild if I had taken all of those clothes. But no, I only took home the like the first outfit, or no, the last outfit from the first day, which is that yellow dress that I wore to the art gallery. I got to take that, and like the purse, the shoes, like all the accessories, the whole outfit. And then I got to take home all of the outfits that I said yes to on the second day, like more of the everyday outfits. So in total, there were 6, and it definitely felt like a lot, because there was like, 6 pairs of shoes, 6 purses, and yeah, like I said, when I started, this live, I have been like, it's been really fun to integrate, if not like the whole outfit at a time, just like parts of each outfit into my everyday vibe. Like for example, I'm wearing the earrings in one of the outfits with this shirt. And it's just, yeah, it's been fun. Like they're all statement pieces. So chances are when I'm going out in the world, I will get some kind of comment on whatever is from the show, like just from, the cashier at the grocery store or something. And it's really fun to say where I got it from, and it is not something that one will hear every day. So I like to think that, me sharing that with them is like bringing just a little bit of magic into their day in some way. And yeah, it's honestly like, it's been big for my sense of identity, because I never before this show like identified as someone whose style was like a bridge of connection. But yeah, it's like, it's been really fun to see how that, like, emanating my vibe, you know, on, in my style, how that, like, kind of attracts people that I might like to connect with. Yeah, so, wait, when me and Taj were walking in the streets of New York City, were people trying to figure out if you're famous? No, I know, I was like, is this okay that we are just, like, walking down the street with, like, all of these cameras trained on us as we're having this conversation, and they're like, no, it's fine, this is normal, people are used to it, and they just get out of the way. But it was definitely unique experience for me, and I really enjoyed it, to be honest. Like, I had fun with it, and I was like wearing that yellow dress and, like, getting interviewed, and there was no handheld mic, I just made that motion, and then some guy was like, hey, she's hot, can I get a picture with her? Not in, like, a creepy way, but just, like, a really sweet way. Yeah, I felt like a badass, and I would be down for more of that to happen sometime at some point in my life. Healthy Strides is asking, have you gotten any offers or gigs since the episode aired? Yeah, okay, this is an interesting question. So the morning after the episode came out, this was like 3 weeks ago, I had 2, like, shop orders come in from people that I didn't know who watched the show. And they were for, like, prints, I think, and posters and stickers. And I was in bed, and I, like, was, like, on my phone just looking at this, and I started sobbing, because I have been really dreaming about this moment for so long, of, like, when it's not just my family and friends buying my stuff, but, like, now there are people who know me and resonate with me that I don't personally know, right? And, like, since that morning, I've gotten maybe, like, a dozen more shop purchases, like, people buying prints and shirts and all sorts of things. And yeah, it has felt super incredible. And, you know, it's not just that, but it's, like, all of the people reaching out in DMs and in comments and emails and just telling me how my episode has resonated with them and my story, and how it feels inspiring, and, you know, sharing their reflection of seeing me. And yeah, I mean, like, even people here on this live that I'm talking to, like you, that I'm talking to, I'm like, you've seen the episode, but, like, I don't know you. It's so cool. And it's even cooler than I thought it would be, honestly. Like, I think before the show aired, my vision for what, like, success or fame could look like was more about, like, being viral, like, just getting a ton of followers and media attention and brand deals and things, like, big things, you know. But it really has been, like, the deep, intimate connections with, like, individuals across the world, like, inviting me to have tea in Australia if I'm ever there. That has really been the most beautiful part. My mom is saying sunflowers with 3 sunflower emojis. Oh yeah, what I'm guessing she's implying from that comment is that, like, I painted this giant 6-foot tall sunflower painting. Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Healthy Strides. Wow, I really appreciate that. Yeah, and honestly, that's my theory of social change, y'all. Like, it's not about like the quantity of change, but it's about the depth and the quality, and, like, you know, what happens at the smallest scale, shout out Adrienne Marie Brown, is what gets magnified to the largest scale, you know? So, like, just being grounded in that, and, like, reminding myself that, like, I'm living for the resonance here. But anyway, so my mom says sunflowers, and I wanted to also share that I painted this giant 6-foot-tall sunflower painting. I revealed it at the Friends reveal on the show, and then it was just like sitting at my parents' house in Orange County for a long time. And then my mom was like the show had already come out, and my mom was like, you need to put that in your shop. Like, put those art prints in your shop. People want them, they're looking for them. And I don't know, I've just been having a lot of just second guessing a lot of my decisions. There's so many micro decisions involved in being a creative entrepreneur, as I'm sure some of you can relate to, including like, what do I put in my shop and when, and like what sizes. But I just decided not to overthink it, and I just made that available a few days later, and I've had like at least 3 or 4 orders for that art print come in, and my mom just ordered 6 mugs, so thanks, Mom. But I am just allowing myself to be open to whatever else wants to happen, like who knows who is going to watch the show and when. I think the show's going to be up for a long time, so it's going to be fun just to sit back and see what happens. And thanks, Mom. They make great gifts, those mugs. And another question, what's the most eye-opening part of the whole experience? With thoughtfulness. Eye-opening part of the whole experience. I think that being seen in this very big way just feels really good. And I didn't know that, when I decided to do this. It was, as is everything else in my life that I'm up to, a total experiment, a total, like, let's just see what happens when I'm sharing my story and going through a journey on national TV. And I had some anxiety about, I don't know how I'll be portrayed. I don't know what they're keeping, what they're cutting. I mean, I just don't have any control here. Like, I have to surrender to it. I had a little bit of anxiety, before the show aired, but then it aired, and then people are resonating and speaking their resonance to me, and that just, it feels really good. And I guess I didn't know that it would feel that way, but like, even just having, I think there's been maybe 400 or so people that have followed me since the show came out, and to like have people following me that I don't personally know but are still like cheering me on and still resonating with me, like, that feels cooler than I ever imagined. So yeah, thank you so much for that question. All right, my housemate Lish is also here. I think he's just like down the hallway right now, asking me when the Akemi Alchemy EP is dropping. Well, whenever you have the time to produce it with me, Lish. He's the one who produced and mixed my first single that I released a few weeks ago. A super talented musician. Check his stuff out. He has so much music, and he's dropping like 50 songs this year, some of which are with me. But I think, the EP is coming soon. Like, I've had a few people ask me about it and like wanting it. So I'm in the process of writing and recording a few more songs that will go nicely with that first song. So stay tuned for that. Oh, Karen, I really enjoyed your episode. I think it was therapeutic for many of us. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm just taking that in and feeling so grateful that it felt like that for you. Like, truly such a gift to hear that. And yeah. Healthy Strides is saying, so happy you didn't stick to nonprofit, because the world would have missed out on all your talent and personality you have to offer. You have inspired me to tap into my creative side. Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much for saying that. I'm I'm really happy too that I didn't stick to nonprofits. There was definitely a time before I was, more like in this groove of like, I kind of know what I'm doing at this point, but there was a long stretch of time where I didn't, and I would have these nightmares, reoccurring nightmares, that I was back in my old job in the office in this like corporate nonprofit that I was at, and just like how trapped I felt in that, and like, oof, that really wasn't for me. And a part of me is still like, it's not saying that I'm ever going to go back to that, because at this point I know that I'm never going back to that. But a part of me is like, is this really going to work out? Like, I'm still, barely scraping by financially. Like, let's be real. I can pay for my bills, but not much else. I haven't traveled internationally since 2019. I don't spend much money at all, but I am really just keeping the faith that if I continue to do what I love and, be a light in the world, try to be an inspiration, that the abundance will flow back to me. So, yeah. Oh, thanks, Lo Smitheredson. I really appreciate that. I know, where are they now? That's one of the dreams that I've had, that they'll do some kind of like follow-up with me, but I don't know. Yeah, there's literally no way to predict the future at all. But yeah, thanks for saying that I'm down to earth. Honestly, when I first got onto this live, I'm like, it's gonna be weird to talk to my phone and to talk to, like screen names on a screen, but I'm really enjoying how natural it's feeling. I'm like wondering, should be less nerve-wracking than being on TV. LOL. I know, one would think, but I also think that there's this, like this feedback that I'm getting when I'm filming live and there are other people in the room, and it's like, I can just be myself in the world and there happens to be a camera crew. Like, I just pretend like the cameras aren't there, and that has worked pretty well for me. Ariel's asking, what's your favorite painting you've ever made and why? I love all of them so much. And they all have their meaningful story, like, for example, this shirt that I'm wearing right now, it's a painting called The Beam, and I painted it as I was processing and like working through a lot of my blocks around becoming an artist and pursuing it professionally. I had this, I've had this fear of like being trapped in boxes and like being stuck in other people's structures that I didn't want to be in, because that's what had been happening to me my whole life, from early school years to the work environment, and just going from one box to another box, and so like I had a fear and aversion to structure, and so I was kind of like flowing through my days very very organically, structureless, and afraid to create schedules and plan things, and knowing that I needed to probably do that to do this kind of thing successfully. So I was working with an embodiment coach at the time, and I told her that I had this box, this like dark box, like clouding my energy, and I was afraid of the box because the box represented structure and like the machine, and then I realized I can create the kind of structure that is going to be good for me, and I do that in my art all the time. Like my art isn't just like random blobs, but like I sketch out an intentional structure, and like I measure it, and it's in alignment with like the divine structure of nature and the universe, and so as I was feeling into that, I felt like the box dissolving and like the light of life coming out of it, and so I painted that. And I called it the beam representing the life that's, reclaiming, reclaiming energy and reclaiming life from the machine. I could talk about other paintings, but there are truly so many. For those that don't know Ariel, she is my soul sister, and she has the second largest collection of original Akemi Alchemy art, and I've painted a few paintings just for her. One is Fountain of Creation that I posted on my Instagram, and it's on my website, with like a lotus and like all of these like energy lines coming out with butterflies, and there's like a pond and wild plants growing and flowers, and I just painted that because she asked me to paint her vibe, and I really enjoyed doing that because I love her and she's so vibrant, and it's easy to paint someone who has such vibrancy. Yeah, I think it's almost 5:45, so I think I'm gonna wrap this up pretty soon. But I really enjoyed doing this, and I'm really happy that y'all came through, especially the people that I haven't talked to in a long time. I'm really happy to see you. Mariela's here, so happy to see you too, Mariela. I just wanted to say one last thing, that I want to host an experimental Zoom gathering, to just drop in more deeply with y'all in like a more intentional container than Instagram. I wanted to do like a deep dive into my artist journey and like tell y'all stories from it, and I'm envisioning some kind of epic PowerPoint that will go along with it, and just sharing, the lessons that I've learned along the way. I don't know if that is even of interest to anyone, but I'm just gonna have it be an offering and experiment just like this and see what happens from there. So thanks everyone for joining me here. I have had a great time and appreciate y'all so much, and I hope everyone has a beautiful rest of your Tuesday and a creatively inspired life. Oh, Healthy Strides is down. Let's go. Okay. All right. Take care, everyone.